was. Last time I was getting ready to head down to the depths, so let's get that over with. Recording this while the previous part is uploading, so if there's a little bit of frame loss, I apologize. Alright. Even if I don't need to, I tend to loot all the items that are dropped, if for nothing else, than to sell later on, once that becomes available. It may not give me many souls, but it's a little bit of an advantage over if I was to collect them. It only takes a few seconds every here and there to pick them up. Figured I'd restock my wooden bolts if she has them, at least as many as I can. I'm pretty sure her location is simply so you know poison is coming up before Blighttown. I'm not sure. Now, before I hit Blighttown, I do intend to go deal with the Moonlight Butterfly and the Hydra to set Dusk free. Just so it's not with bad timing. Or, not bad timing. I don't exactly know why I want to then, but probably just so it isn't too easy. There's a lot of these guys down here in this first room, along with some of the dogs down in the water. Just don't rush out, and you generally won't have any trouble with them. You can take them out one, two at a time, and right back here. It's a soul consumable. Oh well. Could really use some more consumable humanity. I don't have many left. When I was being summoned by people, I had issues with invaders that would show up that would one-shot you, and if I get resummoned by the same host, usually I'll drop a humanity or two. If that happens, then they get killed because of it. So I don't have too many left at the moment. That chopping noise, if you can hear it, is from down below. There's haven't seen before. You will in a little while. Perfect. Get him from up here, just to get rid of the damn dog. Nope. Okay. Just have to go down. Anyways, the Pyromancer trainer is right around here if I can find the stairs. Just have to get to them, get them out of the barrel. Alright, can't one-shot these dogs. That's just awesome. Meet the butchers. There's only two of these in the entire game, and they are apparently female. I don't know how the hell they are. They do hit pretty hard with their cleaver if you let them, but same as most heavy hitters. Just play the fight carefully and they don't pose much of a threat. For me, I've got to keep distance due to my weapon's reload time. Can't just backstab like I normally would. It's an easy way to get rid of them. That's convenient. Now, only one of them drops anything, and that's the second one by the Pyromancy Trainer. Drops the sack. As far as I know, it's a guaranteed drop. Right here is the Large Ember. This leads down to the Spider Shield and a giant rat. I'll deal with that later. It's just not the entrance route I take, due to the fact that that's actually the path I take when I go to kill the boss. So you can get down there real quick through that. If I had the Rusted Iron Ring, which I haven't gone back to get yet, I could move at full speed in the water like these dogs are doing. Unfortunately, that requires going back to the Undead Asylum, and I just haven't done that. I never do that before, well, I never do that at the depths. I do that at Blighttown. Simply so my gear is at least somewhat upgraded. Because there are quite a few Black Knights down there. On the return trip, I should say. And there's the Pyromancy Trainer.
Please, you must help me.
It's locked in a barrel, being stored. People are for the butchers to come eat later, I think.
Oh, there you are. You must help me. Or else she'll have me for lunch. You're my only. Oh, please.
Anyways, don't actually attack him to break the barrel. He'll turn hostile if you do any damage to him. The way to get him out without doing so is to roll into it or kick it. I recommend rolling, that way you don't actually risk hitting the attack button and hitting him.
Thank you. I would have been a supper without you. Been eaten alive. I shudder to think. Thank you. Thank you dearly. I am Laurentius, or the Great Swan. I will not forget my dead.
Now, after this, another butcher should pop down right up ahead. I think it's when you walk past they drop down. Yeah. This is the one that drops the sack. How the hell did that miss? Two-handed slam does give a pretty good opportunity to get a crit on them with the crossbow, so Brandon might as well take advantage of that. I also got a matched third-party content claim on part 1 that I just noticed. If it gets taken down, I apologize. I acknowledged it because it is their content. It's against the opening cutscene. If I do any other playthroughs, I will not include the cutscene for that. Just do your two-handed slam. Okay. I did not know that was unblockable. I guess now you know, don't get hit by that little hook. I still don't know how the heck that is female. In the sack, it's just that headgear that they're wearing. You can't actually get the weapon until Blighttown, and that's by killing Manny and Mildred. Anyways, continuing on. I'll probably be splitting the depths into 2 parts, just as a note. One video of the exploration of this place and collecting all the items. The other one of binoculars, the boss fight and the Undead Asylum return trip. Now, right up there, you probably can't see it because of how dark it is slime. It's meant to fall on you when you go to grab this. It's the only way to avoid it, really. Yeah, this ain't gonna work very well. What are you doing down here? Slimes, if they fall on you, they will do quite a bit of damage by pretty much eating you. They also damage your equipment pretty badly when they do that, if memory serves. It's been a long time since I've been caught on it. And they didn't used to drop souls, but I think it was done because they were an early farm section and people were complaining that they weren't getting anything for it. Items. I don't know. And all over the ceiling in here, there's more slimes. Some people will skip this room when they don't have pyromancies. I don't really mind all that much. I just want to farm it like I usually do. I'll come down here with, say, Fireball or something and just one-shot them over and over to get large Titanite shards. Damn. Off. It's a slow process down here. Okay. And can take quite a good long while. There's another way to lure them down without hitting them immediately, and it's just watch the ceiling and slowly walk forward. That way you can tell when it's dropping down and it doesn't land on you. I'm just going to go through the slow process of killing each 7 hits. They don't really take much damage from anything other than fire, as you can see. Crossbows example. They aren't really worth it unless you have Fireball or Fireball to kill them immediately. Still no drop. Yeah, their rates are pretty bad. Hours I've spent down here killing them over and over and over, while getting nothing as any evidence of it. Other than that attack that they use when they fall on you, the slimes aren't really all that dangerous, and they're very slow, so you can usually just run past. The only reason I'm killing them is just for the off chance that one of the ones in this first set drops a large Titanite shard. Right up here, because I have the master key, I can open it immediately, and there's the first bonfire of the depths. I think it's actually the only one down here. This is a pretty short area if you just run through it real quick. And when you get the Lord Vessel, you can warp back to this bonfire. I'll probably use a Homeward Bone once I've collected everything that I intend to. Now, another thing you can farm thanks to this bonfire really easily. There's the giant rat that I mentioned. I don't remember if there's anything. No. You can't open that door for a little while, you have to do it from the other side. And I do not recommend fighting that rat head on. But the other useful spot for farming is right here. Relatively good place to get humanity easily, just because of how many rats are in close proximity to each other. There's also a great axe in that beautiful right there. Pretty generous at the moment. most dangerous thing down in this area is not the rat, however. Or the giant rat, I should say. It's actually one of the enemies further down in. Not even the boss. That's where it came from. Now, when you see one of those little rats, usually it means that the crates contain these guys. At least that's what I've noticed. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be a sign that they're in there or not. There are a lot of rats down in here. Maybe to suggest going human form for the Kirk invasion, I'm not sure. Or it's just because this place is basically a sewer. That's the key to the door to the bonfire back there that we opened up already. And, yeah, at least I think it is. Check the description. I have no idea. The description's kind of vague. Usually not the route I go to kill Chanter. If this is the Chanter. Yep. That isn't usually the route I take when I'm dealing with him. I usually go through the lower route and hop down. That way he doesn't buff the rats. And he'll just come to the hallway alone. Because these things hit like a truck when they've got that buff on. I think everything does pretty much when they've got that buff, except for players. I apologize that I play so defensively. I just try not to include a lot of deaths, things like that. That would extend the videos. The only death I've had so far, outside of invaders when I'm helping people, has been committing suicide. Here, usual 2 rats and crates. If you're ever down in the sewers, always expect rats in the crates. It's just something that happens a lot down here. And the large Titanite shard over there. Always helpful to pick that one up, especially if you don't have any or aren't willing to farm the slimes. Simply to get your weapon to 6 or improve your shield, something like that. Which spot I'm supposed to drop down to get the Ring of the Evil Eye. Some people don't find it useful. I actually quite like it. At least for Blighttown. Because the constant mosquito spawns count as a kill to heal you, allowing you to keep your health up through the poison. I think this is, yeah, that's the giant rat's room. That's the route I actually take to get to the Chanter, is I'll go into the giant rat's room through the butcher's section, kill it from above, come down here, and just go through the back entrance. You can lure the Chanter out alone. He won't buff or anything. He'll just try and follow you down the hallway. There's slime that's in the way. Usually that guy chases me down here, but it must not have aggroed. Guys are being stingy as per usual. Yeah, I remember which one I dropped down. It's the one with the water flowing in. It is the section I dropped down in to get the bring the evil eye. I generally don't collect everything down here simply because of the frogs. And usually at this point you do not have a lot of curse resistance. So I've been trying to build up my humanity. Hop across like that, and you're right back into the room with the rats. If you need to go back and use the bonfire or anything like that. Definitely need more bullets before I go light down. You can also roll across, though that was somewhat unintentional. That is the enemy down here that I cannot stand. They're your first introduction to Curse, and Curse is a horrible thing. If you let your curse gauge fill up all the way, you instantly die, and until you get the curse removed, your health is halved. Or halved, whatever you pronounce it as. And if memory serves, that status effect stacks. So you can get quite a few sets of having your health halved over and over and over. You can hit them with a melee weapon if the weapon itself is long enough, but don't know what was going on with the camera there. Yeah. Curse sucks. There are a couple ways to remove it. Purging stones and going all the way to New Londo Ruins and climbing up on the roof and talking to an NPC there. The interesting aspect behind Curse is that each time a player is inflicted with it, they leave behind a statue where they died. I'll point one out next time I see one. Nope, didn't drop anything. These guys can drop the Eyes of Death for the Gravelord Covenant, but it's a pretty low drop chance. At least on the ones here. The ones in the Great Hollow seem to have a much higher drop chance on them. Bastards. Oh, there's a statue right up there. I must have fallen down right in front of these. The only reason I have any curse resist at all, really, is because I've got 18 or 19 humanity in stock. Each point of humanity you have increases it, though the increase gets slower and slower the more humanity you have. Not want to get cursed. That would be an embarrassing way to go. It's really easy to avoid as long as you don't sit in the cloud, basically. And I don't actually know where their crit point is. Might be their eyes, I'm not sure. I don't think they can actually do health damage. I don't remember off the top of my head if they can or not. Maybe I should have picked up the light spell before coming down here. Okay. Must have been running trying to get that. The Ring of the Evil Eye makes it so that whenever you kill something, you recover, I think it's about 20 HP. switching out the extra poise for it since, well, I don't really see the point at the moment. I don't get hit a lot. I'd like to just get my health back a little easier and not waste as many flasks. Lots of people getting cursed. Yeah. That's about everything I ever get down here. Kirk, if memory serves, shows up somewhere around here. But you have to be in human form and not kill the gaping dragon for him to show up. Right, it's right down here at this broken gate. Sadly, the rats are more dangerous than he is. A little bit of health from the ring may not seem like much, but with the constant swarms of mosquitoes, it is enough to offset poison for quite a while. Down in Blighttown, which will come in handy to save on bosses, which I do not have any of. Let's see. More rats in boxes. These boxes up here. Okay, so I was wrong about that little rat being a sign that they're in boxes. Yeah. And this place. Shortly before the boss, there's actually a vendor up here who changes locations after a while. I don't remember when exactly it is, but when he changes locations, he goes under the bridge back in Firelink, and he sells all the boss armor and stuff like that that unlocks after you kill them. He also sells the Artorias the Abyss boss armor after you've unlocked it. And on New Game Plus, he will sell Gwyn's armor. Can't get it until then due to the fact that pretty much right after you kill Gwyn, you have to make your end of the game choice. Then you're on New Game Plus. There's also a couple of slimes actually on the ceiling here. Just basically watch your step, and they won't land on you. So, Merchant is right in here.
Aye, Shemai. I'm I'm Donald of Xena. I'm just a peddler of sorts. I adore trinkets and oddities, so I trade for them.
Okay. And he sells your gold pine resin, which can come in real handy. Crystal weapons, which are special weapons that only he sells, but cannot be repaired. And have low durability. I think you can actually get crystal straight swords you can actually find in Duke's Archives off the normal enemies, though they don't drop the shield, interestingly enough, which is actually pretty good early game in terms of the stats. Also sells bolts and arrows, which comes in handy because I've used up a lot of them. And the only armor set he's currently selling is the stuff he's wearing. And even though it looks somewhat decent, if memory serves, it cannot be upgraded.
I have this funny feeling we'll meet again soon. We'll make another fine trade.
And by looks quite decent, I meant the stats. I can't actually stand how that stuff looks. This door is the door down to Blighttown. You get the key after you beat the Gaping Dragon, which is the boss of this area. I won't be taking that route, as I stated. It involves a lot of dropping down from ledges and stuff like that. And, right. One thing, make sure you kill that chanter I killed earlier, otherwise it will buff the boss down here, which can cause all sorts of problems. because it will one-shot you if he does that. I've just sworn they have crossbows around here somewhere. Must be on the lower floor. Yeah, it's right over here. And heavy crossbow and a few heavy bolts. That'll be becoming our main weapon once I've got it upgraded. Since I'm done down here, outside the boss and the giant rat room, I'm gonna homeward bone, cut the video here, all off-screen, going off to Andre, upgrading the heavy crossbow, and then modifying it to +6. Then when we come back, it'll be time for the gaping dragon boss, and that stuff. Let's see. I think I still have the rats left as well, or giant rat. But since we have the souls, and I try to do all my leveling on screen, got the stats I need for the crossbow. Vitality up to 20 after this. I think I'm going to start raising my faith so I can use heal and stuff like that, since I do have 3 attunement slots. As you can see, it's 2 units heavier, but it starts 5 points higher on damage. Doesn't seem like much, but it becomes a bigger difference the further it's upgraded. Anyways, stupid rest up on for everything. Cut this here, and catch you in the next part.